गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। So, Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Today ತುಂಬ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಒಂದೆರಡು ದಿವಸ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇವೆ. ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ 1 or 2 days to make some more changes. The internet has become slightly better now. Hope we'll continue with that. Now yesterday we are unable to hold that Vedanta Paribhasha. Now today is the day of Sugama, so we continue Sugama. So yesterday we skipped Paribhasha, but anyway we'll continue in the next class. Now internet has become better now, improved. In Sugama, it was a very serious and interesting topic going on. Pramana. How came avidyavad vishayani pramanani? Shankaracharya told, Shankara Bhagavatpada told that avidyavad vishayani pramanani, all the pramanas are there only to an ignorant person. This is a very interesting point. Is a much deeper point. All the pramanas, the pramata, pramana, and the prama means the knowledge arising out of the pramanas, and the object of pramanas, pramana vishaya, all the pramana, not one or two, all the objects of pramanas, and the pramana, and the pramata who uses all the pramanas. So the entire pramatru, pramana, prameya, this entire set is within Adhyasa. This is straight away Shankara's statement. Purvapakshi unable to stand. He opposed it. He resented it. He refused. He rejected it. He didn't accept it. Why? Because his understanding of jnana, ajnana is different. Now we bring the Purvapaksha. Purvapaksha is none but common man's thinking, all our thinking, let us say. What Shankaracharya says is a thinking of, what Shankaracharya says represents the Vedantic vision, and what Purvapakshi says that represents our understanding, Ajnani's understanding, common man's understanding, all our understanding. So in their understandings, the idea of jnana, ajnana is different. The Purvapakshi argues that pramana gives rise to knowledge. Pramana cannot exist within ignorance. See the difference. Pramana cannot be a part of ignorance, within the realm of ignorance, within the field of ignorance. Because, simple argument, before you use pramana, pramana means perception, inference, shruti, a means of knowledge. So before we use pramana, we were ignorant of something. After using the pramana, we come to know it. This is the simple and straight thing which Purvapakshi is talking. Ignorance existed before. Take simple example of eyes. Before I open my eyes and see it, I did not know. After opening my eyes and look at it, I come to know. This is the simple and straight thing. Before you use your eyes, you had ignorance. After using the eyes, you come to understand. Therefore, what is ignorance and knowledge? Ignorance is not using the pramana. Jnanam is after using the pramana, the result of pramana. That means, what do the pramanas do? Pramanas remove ignorance and give rise to knowledge. This is common experience of everybody. Purvapakshi is referring to this. This is the experience of everybody. Ignorance exists before you use pramana. After you use pramana, ignorance goes away, knowledge arises. This is the common experience of everybody. And what you, Vedantin, is telling is, even the pramana functioning, pramana existing, pramana functioning, and the result of pramana. See, existence of pramana and pramana functioning and the result of pramana. And the one who gains the result of pramana, one who uses the pramana and gains the result of pramana. One who uses the pramana is a pramatru, and the result of pramana is the jnanam of objects. So, the knowledge which arises as a result of using pramanas, the knowledge comes to pramatru. So, pramatru becomes enlightened. Enlightened means pramatru becomes a knowledgeable person, because he gained some knowledge. He removed his ignorance and gained knowledge. Therefore, how can you say pramatru pramana prameya pertains to an ignorant person, exists within the realm of ignorance? How can you say pramana vyapara, pramatrutvam, pramatru, pramana, the result of pramana is knowledge. Knowledge, all these exist within the realm of ignorance, within the field of ignorance, avidya kshetre. And knowledge is something different. How can you say that? This is what Purvapakshi is. See, what Purvapakshi touches is important. If you can see the mistake in the Purvapakshis, you understand Vedanta. Real Vedanta you understand. But Purvapakshi is elaborately discussing his point, because that is the main point, most important point. You have to transcend Purvapakshi's vision. Purvapakshi's vision represents a mistake, a misunderstanding. First, let us see how Purvapakshi's standpoint, what Purvapakshi's standpoint is. And then later, once you find fault with Purvapakshi, then you have transcended. You have just gone to another level totally. Changed vision. Okay, now Purvapakshi arguing two things. One is the Vyavaharika Pramana, another is Shruti Pramana. Vyavaharika, empirical Pramanas are Pratyaksha and Anumana. Shruti Pramana is that we know. Shruti Pramana functions in two levels. One is the Karma Kanda, another is the Jnana Kanda. That is Karma Upasana. First one, Karma Kanda, Shruti teaches about karma and upasanas, loka and punya papa and experiences and all that, paraloka, punarjanma and etc. Whereas the Jnana Kanda teaches only Brahman and nothing but Brahman, nothing else. So these two pramanas, Shruti pramanas are two. Why two? We can make it into three also. Laukika Shruti, Laukika Vakya, Shruti Vakya. Within Shruti Vakya, Karma Kanda Vakya, Jnana Kanda Vakya. So, therefore, Shabda Pramana is of threefold. One is a Laukika Vakya, another is Shastriya Vakya. In Shastriya Vakya, Karma Kanda Vakya, and then Jnana Kanda Vakya. So, three, or let us say two. Shabda Pramana is twofold, then other empirical Pramanas are twofold, Pratyaksha and Anumana. Okay, so regarding Pratyaksha and Anumana, Purvapaksha has already told, there might be, he told, Pratyaksha and Anumana cannot pertain to ignorant person. That means Pratyaksha and Anumana, using Pratyaksha and Anumana gives rise to knowledge. It doesn't give rise to misunderstanding. A person was ignorant before. After using pramana, he comes to gain knowledge. The pramana operation might go wrong. In using pramanas, some mistakes happen. Due to that, a given case, in one or two cases, a misunderstanding may arise. Just because of that, you can't say that all pramanas give rise to only ignorance, only misunderstanding. All pramanas exist within the realm of ignorance alone. The result of pramana is also misunderstanding alone. You can't say that. This is what Purvapakshi told. All pramanas by their very nature give rise to only ignorance. This you can't say. This is what Purvapakshi told. Okay. Now, regarding the Karma Kanda Pramana. Okay. We understand Pratyaksha Anumana Pramana, that is a Laukika Vyavaharika Pramanas, we have understood. Now, coming to the Shastriya Pramana, we were discussing elaborately. Okay. Purvapakshi says that Shastriya Pramana is not a personal Pramana. How Veda is Apaurusheya. If it is a individual Vakyam, Laukika Vakyam, then we could say that the person who spoke the statement might be under misunderstanding. Therefore, the Vyakti, Mataduva Vyakti, the person who speaks might be under Adhyasa or misunderstanding. Therefore, his statement might go wrong. His understanding might go wrong, so we can understand. But how can you say Shruti Pramana is wrong? Wrong means how can you say Shruti Pramana is within the field of ignorance? It is not within the field of ignorance. Shruti Pramana takes the person outside the field of ignorance. It doesn't keep you within the realm of ignorance. The purpose of Shruti Pramana is take you outside the field of ignorance. That means you were in the field of ignorance. When you use Shruti Pramana, you come to discover a fact and you come out of that ignorance field and you come to know the facts. Therefore, there is Paraloka, there is Upasana, Ishvara, all those things, sadhanas. And see, nobody can know that there is a rebirth without the help of the Shastra. And that is a Paraloka. That there is a Paraloka, Punya Papa, Punarjanma, Devatas, and Devatas' power, all these things we come to know only through Shastra. And you can't, thing is, Pramana is a right means of knowledge, a knowledge which produces a Samyajnanam, correct knowledge, not a wrong knowledge. If the Shruti Pramana were to produce wrong knowledge, we can understand Pramana gives rise to misunderstanding. But not. They don't give rise to misunderstanding. They give you the real knowledge, the factual knowledge. So the Pramanas produce Samyajnanam. What is Samyajnanam? Factual knowledge. My own word I forget. Okay. So Pramana gives rise to factual knowledge because the possible mistakes, possible mistakes of Pramana are not there in Shruti Pramana. Why? What are the possible mistakes? For example, take with reference to Pratyaksha Pramana, there are many mistakes possible, which we have discussed in our previous classes. I just refer to show the similarity. One is, if the object is too far away, you can't see it. If the light is not sufficient, you can't see it. Because without light, you can't see anything. And if there is a defect in your eyes, if you are suffering from some disease, tentatively, you can't do that. Or if there is some dust particle or water in your eyes, thing won't be clearly visible. Or if you are suffering from cataract also. So these are all, there is a defect in the mind. So these are all the various obstacles in the functioning of eyes. So naturally, eyes won't be able to produce the samyak jnanam, the factual knowledge. They will give you a blurred vision, that is a mistaken vision, a mistaken perception. But here in Shruti Pramana, tell me what are the possible misunderstandings. Shruti Pramana is Shruti Pramana. There are no possible misunderstandings. Why? People might see, he told, anadigata asandigda abadita arthabodhakam shastram, which we discussed in our previous class. Niyamena, always, definitely. Niyamena means not only always, as a rule, definitely. Okay, Shruti Pramana produces its knowledge definitely, because you can't say that. Now, can you say a light can show an object sometimes it can't show? Can you say that? Or it is the nature of light to always give an illumination, give light. Or say the fire. What is fire? If somebody asks, what do you say? Oh, fire is hot. Sometimes it is not. Can you say that? Fire means heat. It is always heat. Without heat, there is no fire at all. And there is no fire which never remains cool fire. You don't have a cool fire. You don't have a cold fire. You always have fire is hot. If it is not fire at all. That means its very nature is fire. Therefore, fire is always by its very nature hot. Similarly, a light always illumines a thing. Light doesn't keep ignorance. Light doesn't cover up the object. Light uncovers the object. Light doesn't cover up the object, because it is the very nature of light to illumine the object. Similarly, Pramana, Shruti Pramana nature is, its very nature is to reveal something. It cannot go without revealing. Shruti Pramana cannot remain, because now what are the possible defects in any statement? What are the possible defects in a given statement on account of which the statement could be called invalid? The statement could be a sentence could be called invalid if it is incapable of producing knowledge, or if it gives rise to an ambiguous or a vague and ambiguously. It tells something vaguely and ambiguously, maybe, may not be, or it says something and again contradicts itself. Then that statement is not a valid statement. That means it doesn't give rise to a factual knowledge. Then another is, if it gives a misunderstanding, the sentence produces a totally contradictory understanding, contradictory to the fact. So such statement which can be contradicted, which is ambiguous, or which fails to produce any knowledge, these are the three possible defects in any statement. But Shastra Pramana doesn't suffer from these three defects. It doesn't suffer from these three defects. One is abodhakatvam, sandigdha bodhakatvam, anyatha grahanam, anyatha grahakatvam, viparita bodhakatvam. Abodhakatvam, sandigdha bodhakatvam, viparita bodhakatvam. That is, if a statement doesn't make any sense, supposing somebody says something, you cannot understand what he means to say. I am not able to make out head or tail anything. That means it's totally blank. After listening to somebody's sentence, if your mind becomes blank, that means the sentence is unable to produce any meaning. You listen, nothing happens. Again you listen, nothing happens. Then that sentence is invalid, because it has not produced any knowledge in you. Okay, second reason. If it is ambiguous, then you can't say sentence is a valid means of knowledge, valid pramana. It is not a valid pramana. Then if it gives rise totally a contradictory or a misunderstanding, then the sentence is definitely wrong. Okay, therefore, anadigata, asandigdha, abaditartha bodhakam hi shastram. When a sentence is free from these three defects, then definitely that sentence is a valid sentence. It produces a factual knowledge. Now Purvapakshi says, okay, sentence itself may be valid. Now he says, sentence itself may be valid. Sentence itself doesn't suffer from these three defects which we have stated. Is a very clear-cut statement. It is not giving a ambiguous and vague meaning. It is telling very clearly, categorically, and also it is not talking anything contradictory. It is illumining, it is giving rise to some knowledge straight away, correctly, rightly. So the sentence itself doesn't suffer from any defect. Okay. Purvapakshi again has a doubt, is a question. Okay, sentence itself may not have any defect, but we have our own doubts. We have our own doubts. So, our knowledge, a person who is listening may not gain the knowledge after listening to the Shastra statement. Because Swato nirdishtam shastram tatapyadhikari dvara shankyo bhavati yakkaschana doshatanko asyiti. Because there might be some mistake. How can you trust it like that? How can you say a written statement or somebody say somebody's statement? How can you say it is you just doubt like that? He says, Tadapyapeshalam, this is totally wrong because nahi abhiditva janmantara lokantara sambandhinam atmanam kaschid adhikriyate adhikari dvara. See, what Shastra says is beyond what Shastra says is beyond our pramanas. This is very interesting, important point. Note it. What Shastra says is not contradicted by other means of knowledge, other pramanas, like Pratyaksha and Anumana. See, this is important point and Hindus have to learn. Hindus unable to know this, our Shastriya Pramanyam. What makes it Pramanam? The Pramanyam, the validity of Pramana, we have misunderstood. Or first thing is many of us do not know. Therefore, blindly started accepting, saying that all religions are same. This is totally wrong, and people should never repeat that statement that all religions are same. See, just I tell you here, what Shruti says. Some people say, I doubt it. How? On what basis you doubt? Even to doubt, there should be basis. You just can't doubt like that. No, I don't believe it. Why? A statement is a statement. Why should you not believe? Here is a mango tree. I say here is a tree. I say I doubt it. I don't doubt it. Why? How can you doubt it just like that? For no reason. Oh, he says, oh, I have seen many people telling lies, so this also could be lie. Okay, we answer. You tell like that, we can answer. Okay, a statement might be wrong because you have seen other people telling lies. Now, is it acceptable? Is it acceptable? If some person told lie, some person has cheated you, therefore, can you generalize all people tell lies alone and all people are cheats alone? If one person is a cheat, can you generalize all people are cheats alone? Then if that is the case, then you can't trust anybody. Nothing can happen in life. If every sentence is a lie alone, then even your own statement that I cannot trust anybody is again lie. Even your objection becomes a lie. You say every statement, therefore you can't say every statement is a lie like that. Okay. If you find in the statement something inconsistency or against your experience, then we can say. If it is contradicting our common experience, then you can say the statement is wrong. But Shastra Pramana is not supposed to contradict your knowledges learned through other ways. by pratyaksha and anumana, by perception and inference. Therefore, Shruti statement should not say something which contradicts your perception. Supposing say there is a Swarga and Naraka. Swarga, Naraka, Paraloka, Punarjanma, Punya Papa. These things cannot be contradicted by perception. See, note this point. It can't be against your perception. And it can't go against your inference also. Inference means logic. What Shruti says should not be illogical. If it is illogical, then we are able to find fault with it. It should be beyond logic, but should not be illogical. That's an important point. It should be beyond logic. Beyond logic means what? You should not be able to see the logical defect in it. We don't know how, but it is definitely you can't find fault with it, logical fault in it. Therefore, see for example, Bible and Quran, they say that you believe somebody and you will have eternal heaven. Now the simple logic is, how can something you acquire be eternal? They say our Shruti says that. Now Shruti also cannot say illogical things. Our Shastras say, you get a heaven as a result of punya, then it will last as long as your punya lasts. On the exhaustion of punya, you will have to leave heaven and come down here. So what Shastra says should be logical. It can't be illogical. God creates Atma out of nothing. Once it is created, it will remain eternal. This is also illogical. Our Shastras never say that Atmas are created. Atmas are by nature eternal, therefore they live eternally. It is logical. See, what exists, but what is created cannot be permanent. Whatever is created will have to end one day. What is created in time will have to end in time, will have to cease at one time, within time. One time. Therefore, but they say this is illogicality. What is within time, what is subject to time, what is subject to birth will also be subject to death. Because the birth itself means it is within time. Then one day it has to come to an end. Therefore, this is simple logic. Our Shastra cannot say illogically and say that I am Shastra. Yes, you must accept it. This is dangerous. Anything evil, wicked, go and kill and murder and rob people and say this is Shastra. The Shastra cannot go against the basic values. It can't go against human values. It can't be illogical. So Shastra has to transcend human values. It has to give a still higher values. Transcend means a still higher level. It has to transcend logic means it applies to a still higher level. Higher, that means the logic itself is limited. It talks of a still higher level. It can't be illogical. If it is illogical, then it is in the level of normal inference and it is wrong. See, this is the simple things. And our Shastras never go against logic, never go against perception, never go against common sense, never go against basic human values. And the very God teaches hatred. Their God, I am talking of those Abrahamic gods. God says, I am jealous God. I hate. There is a Satan. You also must share my hatred and intolerance. Start hating Hindus. Because I hate Hindus. I'll send them to eternal hell. So you also must share my hatred for them and also give all kinds of trouble to them. Talk ill of their religion. Tell that my religion alone is superior. Those who believe me alone will go to heaven. All other people who don't believe me are simply innocent, they don't even know me, will have to go to eternal hell. Why? Because that's what God said it. This is what Shastra says. Shastra cannot say anything and get away. If that is the case, then I'll say that killing you is my sadhana, spiritual sadhana. Robbing you is my sadhana. Enslaving you is my sadhana. This is what my God told me. Being inhuman is my sadhana. Being cruel to you is my sadhana. Can you say that? Can you say that? It can't go against human values. It can't go against logic. You see, our Shastra says, whatever is logical, it transcends logic but can't be logical. Therefore, whatever you do punya, accordingly you get heaven. It's not that you do papa and you will go to heaven, and punyatmas will go to eternal hell, and papatmas will go to all heaven if you believe our Jesus or our Allah or somebody, our Prophet Muhammad and something. You just believe. You can be any amount of wicked. You can cheat others, destroy others, do anything, still you will go to heaven. Heaven is assured for you. But you are a saintly man, good person, you have never cheated people, and you only help them, serve them, selfless man. Still, you have not believed our Jesus, you will go to heaven. Eternal hell. What is this? What is this? See? Therefore, Shastra cannot afford to be illogical. It can't go against the human values. Basic thing this is. Therefore, our Shastras always talk of what is beyond logic and what is in keeping with human values. Then more I won't elaborate because the topic is different. I said dharma is different, that we'll discuss later. So here, Shruti Pramana can't be illogical. They say, don't look for illogical or anything. Once we say God's word, accept it. Even if it is cruel, intolerant, hatred, murder and rape, still it is a God, you will go to heaven. Because God loves you. For all your wickedness and cruelty, God loves you. You can retain your hatred. You can add God's hatred also. God's hatred for Hindus. Okay? You can retain your own hatred, and also you can share. You must share God's hatred. God also has got hatred. God also has his own ego. Which God? When I say God, I mean Abrahamic God. Our Hindu gods I don't call God. We call them Ishvara, Bhagavan, okay, Parameshwara. I don't use the word God for our Hindu God. Okay? Therefore, are there two kinds of gods? There is no two God, there is only one God, but it is only people's understanding can be of many gods. It is the people's understanding. So in their understanding of God, God is hateful and very cruel. He is cruel to you, and God tells lies, and he threat to you. He is a fear. He is a terror. God is terror. God is a liar. God is terror. God is illogical and indiscriminate. Illogical and inhuman. Still you must fear. God fear. God fearing. You must fear me because I am the God. I have created. Otherwise I will send you to hell. I will threaten. God always threatens you. You are supposed to be afraid of him. Afraid of him. You are supposed to be afraid of him. This God, this Abrahamic God looks like a terrorist. You see, he always threatens you. Okay? And I am not telling anything. I am not imposing anything, I tell you. I am not telling anything non-existing. Their own books openly say. You read them. Hindus without reading, they talk that all religions are same. It is utter foolishness on their part. You listen to them. Read their books. They openly say. When you talk to those people, they are followers of that religion, they accept it. Yes, that is true. That is natural. That's what our religion, our God said it, therefore we believe. And it is absolutely correct, nothing wrong. If we don't hate, we are disobeying our God. If we don't hate kafirs, if we don't hate Hindus, if we don't humiliate Hindus, if we don't subjugate Hindus, we are ditching our God. We are disobeying our God. Oh my God, we can't afford to do that. We must obey our God. He tells us to hate Hindus, we must hate. Hindus means kafirs, or pagans, or anybody who doesn't belong to our religion. Now, these basic inhuman values and illogicality are taught as the Shastra. That's why people say, oh, religion is the cause. This is modern fellows thinking, you see. See, there are two people. One people say all religions are same. These fellows are one kind of fools. There is another kind of fools. Oh, all religions are only equal and equally wicked and cruel. Because of religion alone, we have got violence, destruction, inhuman thing, hatred and all. Therefore, religion is the real problem. We don't want religion. Let us live with the human values. That's enough. Both are equally fools. Because they say all religions are same is common to both. All religions are equally bad is one side. All religions are equally good another side. Both are equally blind. They are not looking at what those respective religions say. This is what modern secularism creates in India. It tells you, don't question, don't even read Bible and Quran, accept that it is great. Okay? Our government, education system, constitution writers were fools. So they added their foolishness to the constitution. All religions are same. So you listen to them what they say. Without listen, you don't have to impose, you don't have to imagine wrong meanings in them. Just patiently listen what exactly they say. And you see them, it's very shocking. The Bible, Quran say, their followers also say, talk to them. They just say, you believe us, that's all, you will go to heaven, eternal heaven. Otherwise, however good person you are, you will be sent to hell. And even while lying, we have got every right to ill-treat you, misbehave with you, exploit you, torture you, rape you, murder you. Because we obey God, that's all. We are not against you. We only obey God and kill you. That's all. Nothing. That means your mind becomes numb. Your humanity, humanness is suppressed. You are made into a robot to follow in the name of God or Allah or whatever. In the name of their Abrahamic God, you are made into a robot, asked to believe. So you lose your humanness. You become a robot. And they ask you to hate, you will hate. They ask you to kill, you will kill. Because we totally surrender. This total surrender is inhuman. The Hinduism's surrender in Hinduism is totally different. Surrender means transcending your ego is surrender. See, transcending means, surrendering is transcending your ego. Your individual likes and dislikes, personal weaknesses, personal dislikes, personal hatred, you transcend. You become a simple, humble man. But for them, surrender means sharing God's hatred. Surrendering to God's hatred. Because God himself is a wicked fellow, hateful person, divisive person. And you surrender to him means what? He asks you to share all the inhuman values and follow. And illogical also. Don't question its logicality. Believe. It is inhuman and belief also. Don't question. I just said it and you follow. So these two things are creating problem. Hindus have never studied. Okay. Therefore, Shastra doesn't contradict your other means of knowledge. It talks something beyond. Yet it should have a probability logic. It should look probable, logically probable. That you do good punya karma, you go to heaven. This how, I don't know. Logically, I can't prove. But it looks reasonable. That you do punya, help others, serve others, don't be selfish and you go to heaven. This is reasonable. If you exploit and cheat others, then definitely you will go to hell. So this is a very simple thing. And another thing is, what is the logicality? Your heaven or hell is proportionate to your punya and papa. Heaven and hell is proportionate to your punya and papa. You can't say that just because you didn't believe in Jesus, because you didn't know him, then you go to eternal hell. How? Why should you send him to eternal hell? There is no karma which brings, there is no papa karma. You can never commit so many papas for becoming eternal, for going to eternal hell. To go to eternal hell, how much papa you need it? You need eternal papa. Is it possible to commit eternal papa? It's impossible. Then what is this all illogical? It is brainwashing, destroying the human thinking. It's highly dangerous. Hindus are unable to face it because Hindus have not studied their own religion, their own Shastras first. And also study them Abrahamics also. Okay, therefore, Shastra Vihiteshu Tan Nishiddeshu Va Karmasu Tatha Hi Veda Vidah Esha Yajna Yudi Yajamano Jasa Sargan Lokam Yati Gartam Patishya Mityadi Vachana Balena Deha Vetirikto Ham Pratyegamya Atma Siddhyati Pratyapignya Shrayaneneti. That there is an Atma beyond the body. Even after the body leaves, Atma survives. And survives, when it survives, where does he live? How is its experience? Where he lives and how his experiences will be like is determined by your punya papa committed when you are living. Okay, when you are within the body. When you are with the body, whatever way you have acted and lived, that determines what will be your nature of life after the fall of the body. But they say, you believe us, that's all. You can commit any sin. You will be recommended. You will be recommended to heaven. You will go to eternal heaven. You can be wicked, cheating, exploiting everything. You can rob others. Still you can go to heaven. But is it not illogical? Don't question, because once it is a gospel truth, it is a word of God. Don't question. So inhumanity is supported by illogicality. And you are not supposed to question, believe. This is really inhuman making religion. A religion that makes you inhuman. This is the religion, these are the religions that are problems. But instead of that, our people, our boys and girls are educated in such a way to say that all religions are same. Then they found all religions are equally wicked. But we don't say. Our Shastras don't say. We don't say that. Don't ask logical questions. Don't expect us to be logical. That's all. Accept that it is a word of God. No, we don't say. It has to be logical. At least probability logic. You can't prove it through logic, but you can show a probability logic in it. And it can't be inhuman. You have to transcend humanity, but can't be inhuman. Inhuman means below humanity. Transcending humanity includes the humanness. See, transcending human values means human values are definitely included, but it has got a still higher level, a higher step. Okay? If without knowing these differences, and by closing, because it is convenient to politicians, to get votes, they say something. Politicians who do such gimmicks, they talk of all are same. If somebody wicked fellow also dies, most antisocial fellow, they will send the condolence messages because he is interested in votes. People say, why is he giving condolence message to such a wicked fellow? People are afraid. Still he talks of it. Oh, I am very sad that such a great man passed away. Though he is an opposition party opponent to me, yet I love him, I don't reject him, I don't disrespect him. Oh, I send my condolences to all his bereaved family members. Seeing this, you think that, my God, how great it is. Politicians' goal is to get the votes. They don't go by facts. Then why Hindus are talking like politicians alone? Because for us, we left our gurus and started following our politicians. The secularism, all religions are same, and we don't bother what is happening, how they are maligning us, converting, destroying our Hindu religion, our temples and libraries and etc. And main thing is how they misrepresent Hinduism. Malign us, paint it badly, we never question them. Because we say all religions are same, so what? This is the biggest problem Hindus are facing, but unable to understand. Unable to understand. Okay. So, illogicality can't be religion. Inhumanness can't be religion. Can't be God's word. God himself says that I am a hateful person. I am a jealous person. Once if he is a jealous person, then we also have got plenty of jealousy and hatred. Why do we need God then? Is God's hatred is more holier than our hatred? It is same. Whether you hate this way, whether you hate on your own or you share the hatred of God. Hatred itself is evil. The God himself doesn't know hatred is evil. And he openly, proudly says that, yes, I hate you. Therefore, I am great man. Now still you are supposed to believe that such is a God? This is ridiculous. Okay. Therefore, Hindus need to study, make a lot of studies. Therefore, it is Shastra alone teaches you that you are beyond the human body. Even after the human body goes away, still you continue in another body, in another form, in another loka. Somewhere you have to continue. You look at the world, nothing begins freshly. At any time in the world, you see that time has already passed. You are in the middle of the time, you are not in the beginning of a time. At any time, you see that some past has occurred and future is going to occur. You are in the middle. This is how the human life is. Therefore, without knowing that Atma will survive the death of the body, and then when it survives, where will it stay? Where will it stay? According to your karma, it will stay in such a place. So this is very logical. And also, it follows the humanistic sense, humanistic values. Therefore, Karma Kanda also valid pramana if you look at in this sense. Okay. Now the time is up. We already taken 10 minutes more. No, we started very late due to some problem, internet and all those things. I think this topic is not complete, but we'll complete it and start the answer. Now, we are coming towards the end of Purapakshi's argument. Therefore, Purapakshi says that Shastra says, which is not contradicted, cannot be contradicted by empirical pramanas like perception and inference. What Shastra says doesn't go against perception, doesn't go against logic, and you have no other way of knowing it except what Shastra says. Therefore, Shastra is a pramanam. Therefore, Purapakshi says, when pramanam produces knowledge, how can you say Shastra's functioning and the knowledge it produces is within the field of ignorance, within the realm of ignorance? I can't accept it. Even similarly, Upanishadic also. Upanishadic knowledge gives rise to knowledge. And you say that all knowledges, all the pramanas are within Ajnana alone? I can't accept it. This is what Purapakshi says. Okay. Tasman na ghatamanam idam yat sarvani cha shastrani avidyavad vishayani iti. Therefore, I can't accept that all pramanas presuppose ignorance. They function within the realm of ignorance, and the knowledge they produce also remains within the field of ignorance. This I can't accept it. Then the Siddhanti answer. I think today we have concluded. Anyway, it's a very long going on, dragging around. So we have concluded Purapakshi. How 2.5 pages Purapakshi we have concluded. Now in the next class, we will start directly with a Siddhanta. How Siddhanti refutes Purapakshi, shows that pramanas are within avidya. Very important, very beautiful point. And we'll tell the reply in the next class. Okay, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om Tat Sat.